so much to take out from that. But at the end of the day, you've just got to take action on something and keep some level of consistency with that.
It's just starting, Cheryl. A lot of people have enormous walls of terror in front of them. And it's about, how do I break down that particular wall? And for me, it comes down to, and you know that I focus heavily on mindset, it comes down to getting clear on the thing that you want. People just are not clear on what they want. I see it all the time. Well, I want to grow some more sales. Really? Well, if you got $1 more, would you be happy with that? No, I wouldn't. I know you wouldn't. But you just said you want to grow more sales. How many more sales do you want to grow? Through through new products, through existing customers versus new customers, right? We put a whole range of specificity around the types of things that we want to do. I was having a chat to Luke. I don't know if he's still on now. We're having a chat to Luke yesterday around planning, right? And the key is that you want to get clear on what it is that you want, and then you want to plan in reverse from there. So if you want to grow your business by 20% over the next year, that's great, but if you don't have anything between 20% growth and where you are today, you'll never grow your business. It may accidentally grow, you may get lucky, but it won't happen by design. This is about business by design. What business do you want for yourself? Create the thing that you want for yourself. It is so possible. It is in front of all of us. It's business/life by design. I want 20% growth. Cool. What are the things that you're going to do between there and then work your way back to deliver on that 20% growth? And then, so that's the first thing, get clear on what you want. And the next thing then is to put your left foot in front of your right and just put one step. Don't try and boil the ocean. Don't try and do every single thing in 1 week. Bill Gates talks about people overestimate what they can do in 1 year and underestimate what they can do in 10 years. And people try and do it all in the first month. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do a website. And yeah, I'm going to do it. And I don't do any of it. I get overwhelmed. And when I get overwhelmed, well, what is it that I do? I actually do nothing. I do nothing and I put my head in the sand and I pretend that it's not there, as opposed to, how do you bite an elephant? Eat an elephant one bite at a time. Just put your left foot in front of your right and do one thing. Just do one. If you have done nothing up until this point, do one thing. Spend 5 minutes, make one phone call, do one email, do one. And the thing is, oh my gosh. And then you'll come out the other end of that and you go, well, that wasn't so bad. That phone call wasn't so bad. Right? And then do another one and do another one. Don't try and go from 0 to 100, because what will happen is, I call this the January the 1st syndrome. Every January the 1st, people wake up and they are going to climb mountains, get promotions, start a new business, lose 20 kilos, get off the drink, give up the smokes, get a new partner, whatever it might be. And they get to the middle of January and it all becomes too much for them and they go back to the way they were, as opposed to understand your why, get clear on your purpose, get clear on your goal, and then do small things, but do them consistently, because that's more sustainable. And when you just keep incrementally increasing, it's not about going from here to here. It's about going from here to here, and then to there, and then to there. And guess what happens over a period of time? You get there. You absolutely get there. So another key thing with selling is patience. It's patience. With business, it's patience. It's, my Gary V, who sits over my left shoulder, my guardian angel, and that's my family. He talks about macro patience, micro speed. Macro patient being, be patient with the outcome. But right now, work hard on a whole range of things right now. Do the right things, but be patient for the outcome. And it's so important. A lot of us have expectations we're going to, get instantaneous results, and it doesn't happen. And when you set your expectations up high, it's an incredibly long way down.
Yeah. Can I just share, Tony, and there's so many points that you picked out here, but one in particular about the fear that people have about actually asking for business. And this is something I reflected on over the weekend, actually. When the moon's either full or the moon's going dark, it's real reflection time for me. So
sure.
But it's good. I had some time. I had no kids, no husband in the house. And I sat down and went, all right, I had a big reflection time. And I realized, and this is, for a lot of people, the fear of rejection. All right, fear someone saying no. And then I did a little bit of sort of reading further into it and looking at some personal development. One of the ways to get over that is really setting out those goals, because what it does, it takes away the psychological and the subconscious things that are stopping you, and helps you focus on the tasks that you need to do to get over there, over that fear. But it's also looking at each of those and going, if I want to get to where I want to be, fear is stopping me. If I'm able to take these little steps, get here, I will get there. I will get, breaking that up, like you said, breaking that up into whether it's, this is the 12-month goal, months, weeks, days, what I need to do to be able to do that.
100%. I look at it as gates. So I have, I play this out with myself and I play it out with my clients. So you've got your goal into the future, and then you create your plan, and in front of you, you've got all these little gates, and these gates are closed. And every time you try something, you've got to get that gate to open, because if you don't get the gate to open, then you don't get to your goal. So it comes back to, how committed am I to this goal, this thing that's down there? How important is that really to me? Am I interested? Is it a bit fanciful? Is it a bit of a dream, bit of a wish? Or is it absolutely something that is so important to me, and it's a burning desire that I'm going to make that happen? So now I'm confronted with a gate. So the gate is, hey, I don't want to make this call because I'm worried about someone saying no and rejecting me. That's a gate. Okay, it's a gate. But here's the thing, then if I don't do that thing, then my gate stays locked and I never, ever, ever get to my goal. And at which point I would ask you, if I was your coach, I would say, well, then your goal didn't mean that much to you, because you're prepared to let one phone call stop you from proceeding towards your goal. Well, now that you put it like that, perhaps I should make the phone call. Perhaps you should, right? And so it's about, now I want to get that gate open. But here's the beautiful thing. You crash through that gate, guess what's in front of you? Another gate and another gate and a series of gates, right? And gates that don't even exist today, that will just appear because they can. But each and every time, it's a test. It's a test of, how important is that goal for you? Is it really that important? Are you interested, or are you truly committed? And far too many people are interested in the outcome. They're not committed for the outcome. And Tony Robbins, who I refer to as the other Tony, he talks about, when you're going to take the island, burn your boat. Burn the boat. That is, you're going to take the island. There is no turning back. You're either going to die on the island, or you're going to claim the island. But either way, there is no turning back. You are committed. Right. And so take that same analogy into what we're doing. When you get into small business, the fact that you're getting into small business, whether it be a side hustle or your main source of revenue, to get that far, you have made showed phenomenal courage. You have overcome a lot of fear, because the majority of people will never, ever, ever get to taste that. The majority of people will sit under the blanket of security in a job. So the fact that you're out there doing that, you need to reward yourself. You need to recognize that you've done an amazing thing to get this far. So if you got that far, well, don't let a phone call stop you, because you've made this enormous sacrifice to either invest in a business if you've bought one, or start one from scratch, or whatever it might be. You've got to buy something to get started. Don't let a phone call stop you. Don't let an email stop you. Get out there and chase after the thing that you want to go for. And again, it comes back to, remind yourself always, why did you start in the first place? What was the reason? The reason when you said, you know what, I'm done. For me personally, I'm done with work. That's it. I'm out. And I made that decision long before I left. But it's a case of, well, I'm deeply connected to why that's the case. And I remind myself that constantly. It doesn't mean that small business is easy for me. No, it's not easy at all. It's incredibly challenging, right? But I'm incredibly resourceful to come up with ways to get through those gates. Get through those gates. Each and every day, I've got to get through the next series of gates. Otherwise, I never, ever, 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 ever get my goal. 3 guarantees in life: death, taxes, and if you don't do the thing that you need to do, you'll never, ever, ever get your goal. right? And so if you do the thing you do, there's no guarantee that you're going to achieve your goal either. So, but it's about having the belief and the faith that, you know what, when I do this stuff consistently enough and persistently enough, when I'm open to learning, when I'm open to pivoting and adjusting as required, then I'm going to have a phenomenal outcome. But if you let a phone call stop you, then you're never, ever, ever going to get through the gate.
And that's where you do the mic drop.
Yeah, well, it's a big mic. It's an expensive mic. It's heavy too. So
the pretend mic. So extremely helpful tips, some real nuggets of wisdom there. How can we get our hands on the sales playbook? Because I know there's a whole lot of stuff in there.
I'm going to put the link in the show notes. So straight after this, I'll put the link into this episode, and please dive in there, get it. It's almost 40 pages of goodness. Like, you know, a lot of people will give away maybe a 1 page or whatever. This is like 39 pages to be precise. 39 pages of information that can fundamentally change your business. Yes, it's a lead magnet into what it is that I do. But here's the thing. You don't have to work with me. There's enough in that book for you to get all the information and go and implement it yourself. If you do want to work with me, then please follow along and reach out. But there's 39 pages of goodness that you can, you know, put into your own business and start to generate significant changes from day one. And the book is called, you know, Grow Your Business by 50% in 6 months. And I take you through the steps that you can do to get growth of 50%. Now, who wants 50% growth in their business, right? So, you know, we all do. So there's things that you've got to do. It's not going to happen by, by miracle or it's going to take effort, planning, consistency, getting knocked down, getting back up. But as long as you get up one more time than you get knocked down, then you're still in the game. You're still in the game. And that's what it's all about. So I'll put the link into the show notes. Please dive into it. And I'd love your feedback too. So it's not just, this is not just one way. This is hey, please read the book and please give me your feedback. Feedback is fuel for me. I'm always open to new ideas, new concepts. How could I make things better? If you love it, give me that feedback too. But certainly please reach out to me and let me know your thoughts. As a matter of interest, are there any questions or comments, Cheryl, that have come through?
Yes, so more comments just in general about, Sean says, great session. Matt White joined us. Nice work, guys. Great content as usual. Systems, processes, and scaling. Nigel says, well said, Tony and Cheryl. I will come back and listen to replay. I'm just going to make a phone call. I should have made this morning. Thank you. Inspirational. I mean, and that's the other thing as well, you know, in terms of the playbook that Tony's got, you know, this is what we call a lead magnet. We've talked about this before, you know, eBooks, lead magnets. I mean, how are you attracting your target market? And this is, again, something that Anthony and we'll talk about in a bit more detail. But if you want to be able to create an ebook, it's something that you go, oh, I don't have time, I don't have the ability, I don't have the design sense. Again, ask yourself, are there things that you need to outsource so you can delegate to someone else? And I'm going to ask Tony, did you design and put all the ebook together yourself?
No. So let me tell you the process. So I wrote it. So I went through and I wrote it on a Word document. So the ideas came from me and came from 25 years of selling. So that's where it came from. I gave a Word document, and then I have 2 virtual assistants who work with me through your organisation, Cheryl. And I gave this to one of them, and she was able to take my Word document and turn it into something that quite simply is miraculous, and I could never have done it. Am I creative with solutions for business ideas for selling? 100%. Am I artistically creative? No, I'm not. And so it's about recognizing what my strengths are and recognizing areas that I'm not good at and going, you know what, you're great at the artistic stuff. You take my content and you do your thing. And look, it doesn't mean that we get it right the first time. So we have a whole lot of, back and forths, and we have systems and processes, the way that we work as a team within my business. But after a few iterations, a few back and forths, we were able to bang it into shape, and we've got the product that you now see. So it's about, coming up with a way that I can get this out to the world. If I was sitting there from an artistic, creative point of view, A, it'd look bloody awful, and B, I'd probably still be sitting on it, quite frankly. So whereas the idea, and from an ideas point of view, so again, go back to how do I get the ideas down? I actually speak them. I know this will come as a shock for people, particularly Luke, if he's still hanging around, but I actually speak them. So I speak them. I speak the ideas into an app called Temi, Temi. That then converts things into a Word document. Then I bang that into shape. Now I've got my word stuff done. I add a few extra words in, then I send it over to my team. So it's about how do I drive efficiency? You know, I love the fact that you call me Action Man, and I thank you. I appreciate it. But the reality is that I spend time and I'm listening for what are what's the technology, what are the apps that I can adopt in my business to make me more efficient and more effective. And I know that I'm a far better talker than I am a typer, right? I'm a one-finger typer. So I can just talk ideas into my, like literally into my phone. There's an app for your phone. I literally stood there and just talked the ideas into my phone. It cost me 25 cents per minute. So I can't recall how many minutes it was, but maybe it cost me $3 or $4 in total. And there it is. Then it comes across as a Word document. You bang it all into shape. You get rid of the ums and the ahs and all those types of things. You make changes like you would any document. But now I've got a massive head start because I've talked about it. Then I hand it over to someone and they do the rest, you know. And then I've got someone else who helps me from an automation point of view. Right. So then you've got to put it into an automated marketing program. So there's a number of steps here. But hey, guess what? 3 years ago, I knew none of this existed. You know, I used to do my own social media. I'd have a job, I'd go to my job and I'd come home and I'd do my social media. I didn't do any of it. I didn't discover all this from day one. Right? But I've learned through the school of hard knocks around what it is that I need to do. So, you know, you can either you can get out and you can try and figure this stuff out yourself through the internet, and there's so much knowledge available, or B, if you want to speed things up, then you want to speak to someone like me or speak to someone like Cheryl. And yes, there's obviously costs involved. I give a free 20-minute chat to everybody. But here's the thing, that when if you engage me, then what you're engaging is 25 years of experience, plus also we're going to speed the time up. We're going to compress the time, because guess what? I'm going to have made all the mistakes over the last 3 years. So I don't want you to go and spend the next 3 years making the same mistakes I did. We can get through those mistakes in about 20 or 30 minutes. So it's about then recognizing what are others doing and how can I then leverage that to speed up my own journey. But I didn't do it all myself. And that was a 20-minute response to your question. But no, I use people around me.
Yeah, and I mean, that was the whole idea, that if people are finding that, if time, if I don't have this, these are all the things that are not allowing me to achieve what I want. It's not so much, don't focus on what you can't do and what you're restricted or what your lack of talent is. Be able to resolve it and go, okay, what is the solution? What do I have available in front of me? Leverage that and come up with the outcome that I want to, recognize, like you said, your strengths, and recognize what your strengths are and what other people's strengths are and where they complement you. Bring that together and it becomes a beautiful outcome.
Absolutely. There's one word that comes to mind when you say all that. It's called resourceful or resourcefulness. And how I interpret that is, how do I find a way? What do I need to do to find a way through the gate that's in front of me? And how do I make that happen? And with a never give up and never die attitude of, I've got to make this happen, because I know that getting a book done and getting people to read my book is going to add value, and whatever my reasons are. But it's about, how do I find a way to make it happen, because I don't have this skill set or that. And like you said, thoughts become things. When I think I can't do something, guess what? You won't. You will find that everywhere. You will find reasons to not do that something. And that's what most people do. Well, I couldn't possibly do that. I couldn't possibly write a book. I couldn't possibly, do what you did, Tony. Well, guess what? I didn't think that I could do any of that 3 years ago either. But I'm doing it, and I'm doing it all the time. We've got even more exciting stuff in front of me. So, that's great, but the best is yet to come. And so it's about, being resourceful and determined and committed. Go back to my goal. My goal is too big to let it go. It's too big. Every single gate, I've got to crash through it, and I've got to find a way. I've got to find a way. And the same with sales. You've got to find a way. You've got to find a way to make sales. And how do you do it? And what's the way that's comfortable for you? And you ask questions and you create strategies that help you grow your business. But as a small business owner, you need sales coming in the front door. There is no ifs, buts, or maybes about it. Otherwise, you have no business.
Absolutely. So if you want to be trained on the right sort of tools and processes for sales and being able to explode it through your business, Tony Meredith is the person to speak to. If you want to come up with a process around how you automate your systems and things like that, that's what we help with at the Growth Hub as well. And we'll sit through with a system strategy as well, come up with, what your whole customer journey is. And if you want to find out how to market to your target market, Wednesday, we're having a session with Anthony, and we're going to talk about the new marketing course that we're going to be
Great.
as well, which will be fantastic for small businesses, because we know marketing strategy, content strategy is one of the top things that small businesses really have challenges with. So bring this all together, 2021. If you're implementing any of what we're saying here and sharing, 2021, no excuses. No excuses. Mr. Tony Meredith, fantastic to have you here on a Monday. As always, I'm super pumped. I'm sure anyone here that's listening in is still there as well. Thank you for all your time again.
Thank you.
Love having you here. And don't forget, we need to share your link, because that's a fantastic playbook.
I'll do that straight after this. So thank you, Cheryl. Wonderful. Thanks to everyone who's tuned in, either live or is about to tune in. So thank you and good luck with everything.
And share with us your if you've implemented anything that we've spoken about, share it with us. Share your goals as well. What support that you need to be able to get you to that point.
I love it. Very good. Bye.
Bye. Have a great week. Ciao.
Bye. See ya.